Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for this live stream, very special broadcast of our H145 welcome celebration here at the STARS base in Grande Prairie. It's a very exciting day today, one that we've been waiting for some time. We're just so thankful that we are able to welcome people into this base once again for a celebration, and we're very thankful that you have joined us on the live stream for today's event. I'm your host, Mark Oden. I am with STARS Communications. I'm so excited to be here for an event that should be a really fun day with lots of presentations, fun videos, and most of all, the much anticipated arrival of that beautiful H145 helicopter. Before we get the show underway at around 1:30, we're going to be speaking to a few individuals here who are allies of STARS and who are so proud and happy to have with us today. And I'd like to call on one of them right now. We have with us here Kelly Prevost from Petronas, and we're just so excited you could be here with us today, Kelly.
Oh, thank you, Mark. I'm excited to be here. Can't wait to see the new helicopter.
We're all very excited for that. And so let me ask you, why is Petronas such a great supporter of STARS, and why is STARS important to Petronas?
Yeah, so it's been 17 years that Petronas, we've been a champion of the life-saving work that STARS does. We operate up in northeastern BC in the remote parts, and so we rely quite a bit on, if something goes wrong, the STARS Air Ambulance to be able to provide that medical treatment quickly to workers if something does happen. And also we believe that we have a responsibility to contribute to the communities and ensuring that we keep that lifeline that they where STARS operates in the areas, and also that organizations and individuals are supporting the organization's mission and continue to be in the places where we live and we operate.
Well, we're so thankful to you and our many donors. You are literally the lifeblood behind our life-saving efforts. We couldn't do it without you. STARS was built by the community, for the community, and we're so happy to be welcoming the community here today and so thankful to have you with us. So thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. I'm excited.
Thank you. You can now enjoy a slideshow with many many photos capturing our people and saluting our donors in the Grande Prairie area, and we will be back to you shortly with another interview with one of our allies. Hi everyone, we're back. I'm Mark Oden, and I'm here with Mr. Kevin O'Toole, Deputy Mayor of Grande Prairie. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. It's a great event, and very proud to be here at a momentous occasion.
Well, and we're so happy to have you here and have the support of your council and the city. What does it mean to you and your residents to have STARS here?
It means a pile. This is a beautiful community. We got roughly 70,000 people. Knowing that if they happen to go out fishing or RVing or going down the highway, and knowing that there is someone that will be able to pick them up if they were ever in a place of need. And we have lots of, the city's donated $1 million to the STARS program. I think the first municipality in the province to do so. We're very proud, and that goes back, since 2010, that all of the council has been on board for the same reasons. We live here, but we play out there. And whether if we're on our way to Edmonton or going down to Grand Cache or going up to Manning, we know that there is somebody that can get to us in a very very immediate timeline and save lives.
Well, thank you so much. We do say that we are here for everyone, not just rural folks, people who live in the urban centers when they're working, living, and playing, traveling outside of the city. And we thank you so much for your support and for being here today.
Well, thank you.
And we're back. I am here with Carolyn Kolobaba Reeve of Northern Sunrise County. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
And thank you for having us.
It's our pleasure. You know, I was just speaking with the Deputy Mayor of the City of Grande Prairie, and I'm going to ask you a similar question. What does it mean to have stars here in the Peace Country for you and your residents?
Well, for us, we've had 59 airlifts, so for us, it's huge. I mean, we would have lost several people if it hadn't been for stars, and we are very grateful to have them in the region and highly respect their dedication and their professionalism.
Well, you know, we couldn't do it without you. I was saying earlier, STARS was built by the community, for the community. It's the community who keeps us going. We're so thankful to have you here today and wondering, what are you most looking forward to today?
Well, I'm anxious to see some of the new fleet that we donated to because I think that's a huge asset to us in our area, Northern Sunrise County, as well as the region. I mean, we have supported STARS for many years, and will continue to. They are one of the most professional organizations in the sky that we have. And as you can see by their slogan, keep the fight for the flight. So again, it's all good for us. I can't say enough about the staff in general. They are highly respectful, very discreet. They put their heart and soul into the operation. So, you know, and not enough is said about the amount of time that they have spent trying to help others. It's one of the, you know, I wish we didn't need them, but in the end, we need them. So behind the closed doors, all the work they do, we don't see it all the time, but extremely grateful for that.
Well, and we're extremely grateful for your support. So thanks again for being here, and we can't wait to get the show started in a few minutes.
Yes, and thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're back with one more quick interview before we get the show on the road here with another one of our allies. I'm joined by Pribin Bosson, who is the chief of the Grande Prairie Fire Department. Welcome so much, and thank you for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for the invite. It certainly is a pleasure to be here and support you guys.
Well, and it's a pleasure to work with you. We often talk about at STARS how we're just one link in the chain of survival. It's a team effort to be able to work with all our partners, all first responders, EMS, police, and of course fire. So it's very, very meaningful for us, the partnership we have with fire departments across the province. And maybe, from your perspective, what is your view on the chain of survival and how we all work together when someone's having the worst day of their life?
Well, I think we have a little bit of that northern sort of help each other mentality. And I think we've always had that. I've been with the fire service for over 38 years. And we've always strived to get along and work well with our partners, whether it's RCMP or EMS, and now, of course, STARS. So I think we all want the same for our customers. We want the best outcome, and we work together to achieve that. Whatever that takes, we'll find a way to do the best we can.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for your support and also just being such great partners to work with. Just one quick question. Have you seen the new H145 helicopter yet?
Not up
I don't
close.
imagine so, no. That's what today is all about. So I'm probably giving away the answer here, but are you excited to see it in an hour or so?
Very much so, yes. Yes.
Awesome. And of course, you and your partners and the residents of this area will be seeing a lot more of it. Hopefully they don't need to use it, but it will have a presence here to serve the community in the area for decades to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Likewise. Thanks.
Before the missions, before the crew, before the fuel, flight suits, and gear, before our first coat of red paint, there was a need for vision, a need for response, a need for courage. through, from the community, for the community. And as long as there's a need, we'll be there. With you by our sides, we are all stars.
Dear guests, as the STARS H145 welcome celebration begins, we'd like to bring a few items to your attention. As this hangar is federally regulated, and out of an abundance of caution for our crew and patients, masks are still required to be worn by all persons attending this event. In case of an emergency, you are asked to evacuate through the marked exit door at the northwest corner of the hangar, where you entered, and proceed to the muster point at the northwest corner of the parking lot. Washrooms are located in the front of the building. Just look for the signs. If you require any assistance during today's event, please ask any member of the STARS team in attendance. Now, please welcome to the stage your host, STARS Critical Care Flight Nurse and Clinical Operations Manager, Carol Ann Dahl.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our base. It's such a pleasure to see so many people eager to see our new aircraft today. As they mentioned, my name's Carol Ann Dahl. I am a critical care flight nurse. I've been doing that for about 15 years, and I've been in the nursing profession for about 37 years. Wow, I started when I was 12. I was just talking to Andrea, our CEO. She also is a nurse, and she's been doing this for 40 years. She started, I think, when she was, 10? Around there? Yeah, okay, give or take. Anyway, very excited to be here. This is truly a historic milestone to celebrate with all of you here in the hangar, as well as our colleagues and allies who are joining us here and via the live stream event. To open our program today, I want to invite our special guest, Elder Leonard Cardinal, to the front for a prayer. Leonard Cardinal is a Woodland Cree elder from Calling Lake, Alberta, who is currently residing in Grande Prairie with his beautiful wife Amanda and their 3 children. He has been working as an elder for the past 20 years and is skilled in traditional land-based teachings. He and Amanda created a company called Thunderbird Inc., which offers a variety of educational and wellness workshops to community members, schools, businesses, and other organizations. Elder Cardinal, if you would like to come up to the stage, I'd like to welcome you up. And there's no problem with taking pictures or videos at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I think we're going to just do protocol first.
Curator, godfather, grandfather, grandmother, Elder Cardinal, we ask you with sincere gratitude, and we offer our thanks to you and to the people of Treaty 8 for this land for which our STARS Grande Prairie Base stands. It is the foundation of our purpose to save lives. We ask for your blessing and the fact that as we walk together, hand in hand, together we will continue to bring hope and a chance for life. Please offer us your wisdom and your guidance so that we may continue our purpose and our mission to save lives with your help for many generations to come.
Thank you. I accept your protocol. Thank you. Manakoma. I'm just going to set this up here. Thank you for that introduction and also the protocol. I just wanted to acknowledge all the members of the community, all of the organizations, family, friends, relatives that are here today. You know, what has been done here today is something that we can all celebrate because it helps each and every one of us in our lives, you know, in all nations. You know, and the name that you picked for, you know, the organization, STARS, you know, we also have a name for the stars and we call them Achakosag. And also our spirit is called Ahchak. And those two words are connected together. And we are, and the word translates into the beings of light. And so when we see that helicopter in the sky, we call that Mehagan in my language. It means something that's artificial, that's been artificially made to fly, because we also have our natural flyers, which are the birds. And so when I was sitting there and thinking about this, and what I would share is that, you know, we all have a spirit inside of us, that we all have goodness, and we all want to help each other out, you know, for the betterment of humanity. And once we work towards those things, you know, we could make changes in people's lives, and we could save lives as well. And in the capacity of my work as well, I started at a young age, at probably around 30 years old. I started working as an elder. And it's the community that defines you as that ceremonial person when you pick up that spirituality and begin to walk that way. And so I've been working in that capacity. I'm 56 years old now. And so I always promote, you know, unity. And what we're doing here together as brethren, together as, you know, we bring that unity and we bring that spirit here today, and, you know, to hopes to achieve, you know, success for that machine, and also the people that are working there, that they may have safety as well. Because it does make a difference when somebody is injured and you need to get them someplace fast, you know, to get to whatever resources that they may need, that, you know, time is of a factor and of an essence. And I too had suffered a near-death experience, and if it wasn't for the medical profession saving my life, I wouldn't be standing in front of you here today. So I honor all the people in the medical profession, all of the hospitals, all the doctors, and all the people that, you know, make things happen, the organizations where the money comes from, you know, and all of that. So with that, my relatives, I want to offer prayer to you. I want to pray in my language and give thanks to the Creator, you know, that you received a blessing, you know, and also that as we receive that blessing, that also safety, you know, is also included in that, as well as that, you know, common respect and love for each other, and also for that help for saving lives. So I'll just ask you to pray in your own way with me. And I'm going to start it off now. Ahaw, mamoktawi, ksimanto, kinanaskum nanosoma, kisagaw miya, utah tapi gagagi semuyan tapi mamamskota manuhe, kigoya hipindotamayan, umep mehagan tasawihta muata ogag ni wahumaganag, mstahame gotah mabati hapasihtaya higoma, higotosip matsunip mayohtnama, Igon ka pamehtata min da sawim gausta min gutta kung maske hiuskog min maske hiwinuag wistaw taniso kamagosta ga hiwai sinuag min ka patngita wegoma kya muistaw ta sawim gausta igotos miogigwe taniso kamagosia igotos taniso kamasuya ksimanto igomen to tamayan min igon kita toskahagan agatayo kanag minogi seguag wistaw Igotah taniso kamagitaw, piago ni goma piwais at tagihti gom mehagan, Ma tsige ko tose tamiuta kohta haataugun hei sinuakap mohta haatauga maait maana itim kanatawi hostau. So imnaaniksi mantuugina naaskumten. So imutakaki away sinuag wanahuma. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Elder Cardinal, for your time, energy, and powerful words. In a spirit of coming together, I would like to acknowledge that we are located on Treaty 8 territory, the ancestral and present-day home to many diverse First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. We are grateful to work, live, and learn on the traditional territory of Duncan's First Nation, Horse Lake First Nation, and Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, who are the original caretakers of this land. We acknowledge the history of this land, and we are thankful for the opportunity to walk together in friendship, where we encourage and promote positive change for present and future generations. I would now like to ask everyone to rise for our national anthem, played by the bands of Peace Wapiti Academy and Grande Prairie Composite High School, under the direction of Darcy Nielsen and Craig McLaughlin. Thank you, Darcy, Craig, and all your students for being a big part of this special day. And we'll hear more music near the end of the program from these two bands. And we look forward to hosting you at the base real soon. You're going to come for a tour. So here in Grande Prairie, the Peace Country, and all across Western Canada, the sight of a Red Stars helicopter in the sky is familiar to most of us, if not all of us. When a life is on the line, that red helicopter is a beacon of hope for people who are in their darkest hour. Today, we celebrate the arrival of the next generation of a helicopter that will help stars fight for the lives of the next generations of patients in need. You may have heard the slogan, "We are all stars." We saw it in that touching video just before the program began. It's a reminder that when STARS celebrates an accomplishment like we are today, it's thanks to the dedication, support, and commitment of all of us. The STARS crew in the air and on the ground, the allies who contribute in so many ways on each mission, and the patients who motivate the STARS team every single day. That's why we're here. Today is more than just welcoming a new STARS helicopter into Northern Alberta and to the Peace region. It's also about recognizing and thanking everyone in this hangar and our greater community who made this possible for us. I'd like to remind everyone that even as we overtake the base for our celebration, this STARS mission never pauses, and today's flight crew is at the ready to respond. Can I get the duty crew to put their hands up? So we can just show people who's on crew. So I see pilot Chris Berggren. I see pilot Cam Duell with his hand up. Oh, I see paramedic Mark Woods. He's also our educator here for our crew. And oh, there's senior flight nurse Gauthier. She loves it when I call her that. So the operational helicopter is parked just outside, and if dispatched, we will see these 4 individuals quickly get up, get ready to go skids up and on their way to help someone who's having quite likely the worst day of their life. And when that happens, the hangar doors may shake a little and it might get a little loud, so we might have to pause for a bit while that happens. But in the meantime, we're just going to move on with the program. So the first speaker in our program today is an individual whose vision, passion, and drive have led STARS to new heights, and who has turned the dream of fleet renewal into a reality. Please join me in welcoming our president and CEO of STARS, Andrea Robertson.
Thank you. She's also really short, as it turns out. Yeah, that's part of the gig. So welcome, everybody. So thrilled to have you here today. Man, it's been a journey. But there's lots and lots to think about and celebrate today, so let's get on with it. Thank you, Carol Ann. She's our extraordinary leader, and it's lovely to be here and share the stage with you today. So I want to start today with a message of thanks. I'm grateful, very grateful to our government, and I would say governments in brackets, for all of our colleagues across the health system, in particular, of course, our partners in AHS, EMS, fire, city police, RCMP, who our crews work with shoulder to shoulder every day. I'm incredibly grateful to this community and this region who stood by STARS throughout the challenging times the last couple of years. You may recognize that while many of our fundraising activities did have to take a pause, emergencies didn't stop, not even for a little virus. Hopefully, the masks will disappear sometime soon. Finally, I'm immensely proud of our crew here, from Carol Ann and named everybody, but from aviation to air medical crew, nurses, paramedics trained to the highest standard, to our engineering staff that keep us at the ready, and right now with 2 different kinds of aircraft. Thank you. To our foundation and administration team who work with all of you, our allies, to gather community support that's needed to keep us in the sky. To all of you at STARS live streaming in, thank you for your dedication, your professionalism, and world-class skill. So our history's a fun one. You know what? We've been around 36 years. Jeez. I am getting old, Caroline, it's the truth. In 1985, we started, and simple thing. One life lost was one too many, and STARS was born. So here we are, 36 years later, delivering innovative emergency critical care across Western Canada. It's not only alive and well, but we're actually leading the way. As an organization, we've come far in 3.5 decades. One air ambulance grew to a fleet, and our first mission has led to over 50,000 lives touched. One base, this was number 3, has grown to 6. As we celebrate today, we stand here 15 years of service in this region. From this base, we're here to experience the start of the next chapter for Grande Prairie. But before we look to the future, let's reflect on the privilege it's been to serve the people of the Peace region.
One of the nicest things you can ever see is a STARS crew leaning over you, giving you a reassuring smile.
They're the people that literally saved my life.
The crew were just absolutely phenomenal.
We had all the right people in our corner that day, and we'll forever be grateful for that.
when Dr. Greg Powell and Linda came to Grande Prairie to start to have high-level discussions about bringing a base to Grande Prairie, they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I said, absolutely. I had this opportunity to bring something miraculous to the northern residents.
In Grande Prairie and surrounding areas, a lot of people work in such remote areas and they play in a lot of remote areas.
You have farmland, you have a city, and you have real wilderness.
Everybody's in the backcountry or quadding or sledding or doing something down there without cell service.
We're flying long distances into very sort of austere environments.
2-3 hours on an oil field or a logging road can be a 25-minute flight for us.
Gotten into patients on quads, on skidoos.
Crossing the river back and forth on boats.
And on horses.
So it's a vast area that they cover in that, and a lot of times patients need advanced care. And that's where STARS really comes into play.
To be able to come to them in all these different environments is an incredible opportunity.
None of us can do any of it without the support of the community. And that community support is so tremendous here in Grande Prairie.
It's like a family.
So it's just a natural fit to provide safety to our people, the community, and the 3 provinces.
It's an understanding that STARS will be there, and that's why they are there for us.
We're very proud to be part of it.
All of us work together to take care of people.
Together, that's what makes the package, and we couldn't do what we do without the other.
We do it because we love it.
It is more than a job, it's a passion.
I can't see myself doing anything else.
When you see STARS showing up, you know that they have life-altering equipment.
So many different pieces of equipment.
And people on board can do things to help.
We have to be highly skilled.
And as technology changes, there's need for replacement in equipment.
We've donated money to new helicopters.
We're all excited about getting the new helicopters.
Knowing that you're going to be here for the future, and it's the next step to future growth and future needs of the region.
It's a matter of life and death for some of those people that will be using the service, and we need to have that.
Thanks to everybody in the province that keeps stars in the sky. Without them, I might not be here.
And I could not be more thankful.
It's an overwhelming debt of gratitude.
Got a tear in the eye.
I'm glad I'm standing up here and not watching the video, as always. Now, the reason that we're all here, our most ambitious project to date, the renewal of our aging fleet. Today is the culmination of over a decade of hard work, of defining our needs and planning the future path for STARS. Our beloved BK-117s, like the one that you saw and the one that's on standby for our crew, has served us for decades. Tens of thousands of hours flying and missions flown across Western Canada. But these long-serving workhorses are reaching the end of their life and need to be replaced. Indeed, the manufacturer is actually no longer making them, and they're getting costlier to maintain. It's difficult to acquire parts to make sure that we're around, 24/7, 365. So that's our commitment to you, and so it was time. The H145, which we're going to introduce you to, was determined to be the best choice for safety, for operations, for fiscal responsibility, and this great aircraft is going to keep our organization moving forward. So let's take a short trip back a few years to see how we got to where we are today. So you know what, folks, I think we'll get started. Thank you for joining us. Welcome and good morning. The big news is that we're moving forward with our fleet replacement. We've chosen an aircraft. It's the Airbus H145. Very similar in look and feel to the BK-117. There's been lots and lots of work been going into fleet renewal and fleet replacement. Some of our initial training will occur in Europe, so Scott will be taking a team to Germany. The medical interior that was chosen is Aerolite. It's a clip-in, clip-out interior with the intent that it's scalable and changeable for the future. Today, STARS has taken one little baby step, but we've also taken a huge, gigantic step for the long-term sustainability of this organization. Isn't she pretty? Yes, I said she. Yes, I did. Anyway, you'll get to meet her soon. So each of those little aircraft cost $13 million apiece. Yikes. And we need 10 of them for the entire fleet. And so we had our fundraising work cut out for us, no question about it. In 2019, we stood in this hangar to ask this community to help us raise money for this fleet. And just as you stepped up to help us establish here, actually, back in 2006, once again, you stepped up to help us this time for this amazing project. Thanks to the phenomenal support of all of you, from our governments to municipal partners, corporate community, and individual donors, our fleet renewal dream has actually become a reality. Representatives from the province were unable to join us today, but we thank the provincial government for your ongoing support. To all here who helped us establish in 2006 and who have sustained us ever since, and to everyone who's contributed to our fleet, thank you. As I'm sure you'll all agree, all this hard work has been so profoundly worth it. More than 4,000 missions to hundreds of communities across northern Alberta and the Peace River Regional District have occurred because of your support. Think of all the lives that have been touched and saved. All the people and communities that see whenever we fly overhead that we're actually here for this community. This is a success story. This organization was built by the community for the community. Thank you all for being a part of shaping our success story so that we're here to support the next patient who may need us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Always inspiring. So now I'd like to call up a special guest up to the podium to say a few words for us. Please help me welcome to the stage Member of Parliament for Grande Prairie Mackenzie, Mr. Chris Warkentin.
Thank you, Carol Ann. It's so good to be here. It's so good to be together as a community. But really, what a celebration this is for us as a community and for us as a family who, it feels like a family. 15 years flies by so quickly. The other day, my son and I were doing yard work, and he had a buddy over. And he said, he pointed to the sky, and we played this game because we have so many friends and family that have aircraft, that he said, to his buddy, he said, well, I don't know who's in that aircraft, but my dad will know. And he says he knows everyone who flies over. And I said, well, you know what, son? Tonight or today, I don't know who's in that aircraft because it's a red aircraft. And then I was able to explain that this morning, whoever was in that aircraft didn't expect to be in an aircraft. But we were thankful as a family and a community that STARS was there to get that person to medical care. And really, that's what the story of STARS is. It's a remarkable story, and often we hear from the VIPs, we hear from the people whose lives have been impacted, who have been saved, and who have been changed because of STARS. But really, what do we do this for? We continue to raise money, we continue to raise awareness because we care about the person who takes it for granted today, the person who doesn't know that they will need it tomorrow. I have the privilege of serving and representing 20% of the landmass of the province of Alberta, the northwest corner of the province. And throughout our region, we know that we have people who are working, who are playing, and who are living in difficult places to reach. And people who work hard in industry where we know that there's a better chance that people are going to need the medical care that only STARS can provide. And what a reassurance I believe that is to myself and for our community and those of us who think and breathe about the services that are provided for our constituents. I am thankful for STARS, and I know that every family who's been impacted by a life-changing tragedy is thankful when STARS shows up and who have been able to pass on those stories. What an innovation that we have here in Alberta that started here in the province of Alberta. Really, it's an Alberta story. There was a need, and so Albertans stepped up and filled the need. And there's been companies and innovators who have helped build our province who have said, yes, indeed, we will stand with STARS and make sure that this service is available to our communities. And so I want to thank, on behalf of Peace Country residents, every person who has stepped up to help finance this important part of our safety network, those who have stepped up from industry, those who have stepped up from our municipalities and our provincial government, who have made the difficult decision over the years to allocate part of their finances. And really over the last couple of years, as we saw the oil industry collapse, as we saw COVID hit, we continued to see the generosity of municipalities and companies who really were giving out of believing that it was a necessity, cutting back in other areas, but making sure that STARS continued to be financed. And so I want to thank the folks in the Peace Country who made this a priority. And so on behalf of myself, on behalf of our community, but more importantly, on behalf of those patients whose lives will be impacted into the future, I want to thank STARS, your team, Andrea, your team, provincially. I want to thank our local team for your continued commitment to our region. And I want to thank all the partners who continue to make sure that this service is provided for our communities here in the northwest of the province of Alberta.
He's taller than I am. Thank you, Mr. Workington, for your kind remarks and your support of our service. So, as you can imagine, implementing a new fleet across our bases doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of planning, preparation, and training. And months before my air medical colleagues and I got to learn about our new work environment in the back of the AH145, our aircraft maintenance engineers became 145 experts by undertaking 240 hours of classroom and hands-on training in Ontario and Texas. So we have to prep all those folks, first and foremost. We need somebody who can fix this. In fact, our engineer today, Darren Merchant, actually was out there looking at the aircraft, making sure all was good to go. So we can't go anywhere without him. Next to start training were our pilots, who each spend over a month and hundreds of hours of online study, technical ground training, simulation, and flight training in Germany initially, and currently in Texas, and then more at each STARS base. Naturally, it's a lengthy process to train all our pilots, as we can only send a few at a time because we have to remain operational in the BK-117s. So it's been a very staged process. One of the last Grande Prairie pilots to train on the new aircraft is our Provincial Director of Operations, John Gauguin, who is currently actually training in Texas. And John would have loved to have been here with us. In fact, he'd probably be doing this job. So by default, it came to me, Anyway, he's a way better speaker than I am. But instead, he's going to join us on the big screen today. We're going to have a bit of a look, a rare glimpse into the high-tech training that they go through So take it away.
And good afternoon, Carol Ann, and a very warm welcome to all of our special guests at the Grande Prairie base. My name is John Gauguin. I'm Provincial Director for STARS Air Ambulance Operations for Northern and Central Alberta, and I'm coming to you this afternoon from, of all places, Grande Prairie, Texas. Behind me is the Airbus HeliSim H145 full motion simulator. Of course, as you can see, it's emblazoned with the STARS helicopter. This is not just a star simulator, this is a simulator that welcomes the world. And our helicopter is one of the first things they see. It's an incredible honor, and it really does show the trust that Airbus and STARS have in one another. I've been here since May 3rd, along with 2 other Grande Prairie pilots, as well as an Edmonton pilot. We should be done our training here in a few weeks. And I'd like to take you inside this incredible training tool. So inside the simulation center, as you can see, right now we're parked on the tarmac in Calgary. Just to the left of runway 35, there's a few aircraft out on the tarmac. There's an aircraft parked beside us. This is where our instructor and potentially another Transport Canada member may sit and monitor the ride and walk us through the different scenarios. They can put us anywhere in the world at any airport that's programmed into this simulation center. And up front, we have an exact replica right down to the seats and seat belts, fire extinguishers, and all the things that would be on board the H145. In here, we put practice into play. So everything that we've learned in ground school for the past many weeks, we are able to go through systematically for different types of missions and calls. We learn about all the automation inside the aircraft. We can practice different types of emergencies, and we can continue to hone our skills as a crew with the pilot not flying sitting on the left and the pilot flying sitting on the right, working as a team to get the aircraft out on different types of scenarios. I really hope you enjoyed this tour of the H145 Simulation Center. Again, to everybody visiting the Grande Prairie base this afternoon, thank you so much for your support of the STARS Air Ambulance. And back to you, Carol Ann.
Thanks, John. We look forward to you coming home. What an impressive facility they have there for the training. Hopefully our pilots will feel at home when they go to, get to see the beautiful Red Stars helicopter greet them each time they enter the simulation. Speaking of that beautiful red helicopter, that new one we're talking about, how about now? You may all be wondering, when will this new AH-145 arrive? To get an ETA, we're going to check in with our Emergency Link Center, or ELC for short. As you may know, there's more to a STARS mission than the world-class flight crew and the helicopter. It's also the talented men and women behind the scenes in our Emergency Link Center. They coordinate with 911, fire, police, transport physicians, doctors in facility, you name it. Earlier this week, somebody in Link Center had to find me a security guard at the airport here because a car was misplaced on the property somewhere. So, I mean, they do everything for us. We would be pretty much lost without them. So this is how we get the best care to the patients in need, is through them. So they have their finger on the pulse of the entire fleet. They track each helicopter as we fly around in the air at all bases. So I think it's really important that we have a check-in with them to see where our crews have been today and locate our 5-bladed guest of honor. I think Mike Haska is on standby via video link in the ELC in Calgary to help us get up to speed. Mike, over to you.
Hey, Carol Ann, and hello everyone in Grande Prairie. So nice to see you guys. We've been following the event here in Calgary. As Carol Ann mentioned, we're obviously talking about the H145 today. But with the H145, inside each one of them is a radio, and inside that radio, it connects us right here to the STARS Emergency Link Center. And I'm here with John Griffiths. He's one of our directors in the STARS Emergency Link Center. And John, you're going to give us a sense of what you guys do on a daily basis here.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome, Grande Prairie. It's lovely to see you all, and it's lovely for you to join us. Each of the Stars bases has a unique character. We look after all of them from here in Calgary, but Grande Prairie has a special place in our hearts for some of the amazing calls that they do. And so we're so glad the 145 can arrive there and be deployed. Grande Prairie had a busy weekend, actually. We were just talking about that. They went up 10 times. They flew to various hospitals and scene calls this long weekend, including a horse riding accident, an ATV accident, and a medical call to Edmonton. So it's a busy base. In the Link Center here, we look after all the aircraft in the Stars fleet, and our job is essentially to make their lives easier. They need to be focused on flying to the patient and getting them to hospital. Our job is to sort out all the phone calls. We receive the requests. We link in the secret source, which is the transport physicians. They give advice, and we provide the logistics necessary to make sure all the missions go off as smoothly as possible. We have some tools to do that here. We're very excited to have lots of technology available to us. These ultra-wide screens really allow us to see lots of information. We have satellite tracking of the aircraft. We're also able to use specialized mapping to really get a good sense of where things are in the province, where people are located, and where we're going to move them to. And then the last key thing that Mike mentioned as well is our radios. And so we have touchscreen radios. We're constantly in communication with all the aircraft across the fleet, and we'll make sure things get coordinated and patients get the help that they need.
Yeah, so John, anyone who says size doesn't matter has obviously never seen the monitors in the Link Center. Ton of information that we're tracking on a regular basis. You mentioned as well that a few of our crews are actively operating missions as well right now.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, so our helicopter in Calgary is just finishing from a mission. They'll be landing outside the windows here in about a minute or two. Our helicopter in Edmonton is just responding to a call, and they're actually going to pick up a physician in Edmonton and then fly to a rural hospital. And then our aircraft in Saskatoon is just completing a call as well. So a few things going on today.
Busy place. It never really seems to slow down. And of course, the helicopter that everyone in Grande Prairie is waiting for, we're tracking that as well. I understand it's somewhere out there. Can you give us a sense of where they're at?
That's correct. Yeah. So if I didn't know, that would be a problem. We have lots of different ways we track the helicopter. Radios is one thing. We have a really neat satellite tracking tool, and I can tell it's just west of the city right now.
Okay. So maybe, 1 or 2 or 3 speeches to go, and it's almost there.
It's almost there.
All right, Caroline, back to you. We're really excited to see that arrival.
Thanks so much to both of you. We can't wait to see the 145 arrive. So STARS allies don't have to look far to see the impact of their support, the patients that have been helped. As someone who works to help care for these patients every day, I can attest to the fact that STARS is truly all about the patient. However, once the missions are completed and the patients leave our care, we often wonder about the outcome. Reuniting with our patients once we've transported them is such an honor for each one of us. It's an immense joy and a potent reminder of why we do what we do. Ask any one of us at STARS. It's the best part of the job. We call these courageous people our VIPs, or very important patients. Many of them stay in touch, and we love getting to know them and their families. Like our next guests, who aren't actually VIPs themselves, but the family of one of the VIPs. A number of years ago, our crew had the privilege of caring for and transporting Brett Campbell. You may remember him from the video. Brett and his wife were there on the video. Her name is Lindsay. Lindsay and Brett and the kids, Noah and Ava, were also on the stage with me in 2019 when we kicked off the Fleet Renewal capital campaign here in Grande Prairie. This family have been amazing support here in Grande Prairie. They've been huge ambassadors for STARS. Noah and Ava are very well known by our crew around the base and our hangar cat. They've come in very often to visit, and they bring in birthday money every year, both of them. There's not very many kids that don't want presents. They want just money for STARS. Pretty impressive. As we talk about our new aircraft being here for generations to come, we thought it would be appropriate to hear from the next generation. And so I'd like to invite to the front Noah and his mom, Lindsay. Ava couldn't be here today because she had some really fun stuff to do at school. So without further ado, if you'd like to come up to the stage.
Since 1985, 2006 in GP, STARS and its amazing crew members have helped lots and lots of people who urgently needed emergency care away from a hospital. That's a whole generation of kids, moms, dads, and grandparents whose lives have been changed. My dad was one of them. The STARS helicopter has been a very important and reliable tool in letting STARS give people that care. But just like a beloved family car that has driven many kilometers over the years, that helicopter needed to be replaced. So STARS asked people like you for help, and the response was huge. Communities like Grande Prairie and all the areas around it didn't hesitate to dig into their pockets and help STARS raise the money they needed for the massive replacement project. So what does that mean? It means STARS is ready for the next generation, just like it was for the previous one. So from all of us in that generation, thank you. Your support means kids like me will always be able to count on STARS for being there, just like it was there for my dad.
Oh, thanks so much. That was awesome. Now I just have to find my notes here. Yeah, those are amazing words, Noah, and it's so very important to think about the future and future generations. I love it. You are the reason that we get up each day and come to work, and you guys are the whole reason that our organization exists. To everyone in this room, all of our allies, please know that it is your support that helps us fight for the lives of individuals like Brett, so that Noah and Ava have their dad to be with them as they reach milestones of their own throughout their lives. Here's a video that shows you just how much your support means to the patients we serve.
To me, for that helicopter to be in the air,
I just want to say thanks to everybody that supports STARS.
the people who help out in any way are saving lives every day.
The donors, the volunteers, the VIPs who go out and do stuff.
The people who buy lottery tickets, STARS calendars, bequests in a will. They're amazing.
I'm grateful for them every day. I do truly think about them every day.
I call them angels.
All those people that do that, honestly, there are no words.
It's unbelievable what they do, especially if they haven't been personally touched by it.
I can guarantee that everybody in the province is either already knows somebody or they are going to know somebody that needs the service.
You don't know what could be around the corner.
I never expected to need STARS, right? Who does?
You just never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You just never know. We never thought it would be my dad.
I didn't ever think it would happen to me. Here we've used them 3 times.
We're 3 strong with the STARS use.
We're in a small area here and there's been 3 people within 3 miles that have flown on STARS.
This is real. It affects real people in real situations.
If they weren't around, I wouldn't be here today.
I think the outcome 3 years ago would have been totally different.
If we didn't have it, I'd be dead.
We didn't have support like this, people die.
I'm here today because STARS was able to fly there and pick me up and fly me to a hospital.
Without STARS and without allies supporting them, I wouldn't be here. My family wouldn't have a father.
When people donate, they're saving people's lives. Every penny that they give is saving someone's husband, someone's dad, someone's kids, someone's spouse. It's a pretty big deal. You could be saving your own life one day by supporting STARS.
I did a fundraiser for the STARS. I think I made $400.
Instead of buying Christmas gifts, we all just pooled together and donated to STARS.
We did a Mother's Day fundraiser, and the other one we did beer and a haircut for the men.
Fellow kinsman started a ladies' night. Diamonds in the Sky gives money back to STARS.
We had one birdhouse left over. The auctioneer said, let's sell that for STARS, $2,000.
Whether it's $5 to $500,000 and everywhere in between, every dollar counts.
Thank goodness for the donors.
It really means a lot. I want to give them a hug.
You guys are doing the right thing by making STARS possible.
It makes me cry a little bit to know that.
Because it's living proof of where that money's going. I think you want to say a big thank you, right?
It's a little bit shy.
Every one of those dollars that people put in really makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. It goes a long, long way.
I believe it gave our daughter a chance that she wouldn't have had otherwise.
So I really
would support anyone who wants to donate.
You can have all the employees doing what they're doing, but if you don't have the support, you don't have the donors.
They're all intertwined, like one can't happen without the other.
It would not be possible, and it wouldn't be reaching as far and as wide.
What does a person say to that?
I would say thank you, a big thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you so much.
From the bottom of our hearts.
A hearty thank you.
Like a huge thank you.
A huge, huge thank you.
Thank you. You guys are lifesavers.
Keep doing the work you're doing.
You don't think you're going to need it, but when you do, you're sure thankful.
Well, our new H145 helicopter is almost here. And if you think this has been a long wait, imagine how excited we've all been. Remember, we talked about our event in 2019, so it's been a while, but man, it's here, and we're so excited. We have been flying it a bit, though, for the last week it's been here, and it's been serviceable. We've actually flown to places already with that aircraft. We've been to Hinton twice. We've been to Hudson Hope, BC. We've been just south of GP, Grimshaw, Valley View, Fairview, and Whitecourt. As a member of the aeromedical crew, I just have to say, after having done some training in it, we've had to do some simulation in it, we've had to do some ground school in it, we've had to learn how to, use the new stretcher and all the new equipment inside. I can honestly say that it's roomy. I like the roominess of it. I'm not going to be constantly bonking my head on the ceiling. I like the configuration of it, and I think that the other thing that I really like about it is our ability to have more oxygen on board. We are a little bit limited in our distances with the BKs, and with this one, we can go a long way with the oxygen we have on board and serve a lot more patients. So those are some of the things I love about it. I'm really excited for our future with this 145 and what it can do for us and our continued innovation and how we deliver care in that aircraft. Now, we need a pilot's perspective on that new aircraft and how it feels to pass on the torch from our retiring BK-117 aircraft to the H-145. I know the pilots are waiting for us to train and they're all itching. They want to fly this fancy new thing. I always bug them and say, I think there's a Keurig on board up front, or, I'd get hot chocolate or something up there. Like, it seems really fancy, lots of screens. So I can imagine they were just itching as we were training. When are you done? When are you done? Anyway, I'm going to turn it over here now to our friend and colleague, Captain Gio Rollins.
Hi, I'm Gio, one of the pilots here at the STARS Grande Prairie base. I'm also the pilot who will be flying the new H145 as it arrives here in just a few minutes. That is, if everything goes according to schedule. In the meantime, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the new aircraft and how it's going to be a game changer in our critical care response here in the Peace region. As we move forward into our next chapter, there's no doubt things are going to be different without our BK, that sturdy, reliable friend who's been with us on thousands of missions. When the Grande Prairie base first opened in December of 2006, just over 15 years ago, the BK was the perfect aircraft to service our local area. The BK is robust, reliable, hardworking, and powerful. For me, there's no better example of this than a mission we responded to south of Grande Prairie in the winter of 2015. On that day, I was the flying pilot, and together with the crew, we were faced with a call that had limited access and would make getting close to the scene very difficult, even with a helicopter. Luckily, we were able to find a place to land that allowed the medical crew to get to the scene easily. And don't worry, we had full authority and permission from the railroad. The BK isn't really leaving us. It'll live on because the H145 is Airbus's newest version of the BK. The 145 takes the best elements of the BK and combines them using the latest technology to make a more powerful twin-engine helicopter that enhances safety, improves efficiency, and of course is patient-focused. Earlier, when I said this helicopter was going to be a game changer, this is what I meant. From inside the front of the H145, pilots like myself will benefit from greater visibility, a cutting-edge 4-axis autopilot system, a terrain awareness system, and a collision avoidance system. Not only that, we'll benefit from a smoother ride thanks to the revolutionary new main rotor head design that not only smooths things out for us in front, but provides a smooth ride for our patients in the back. What's most noticeable, of course, is that big fan in the back. The Fenstron not only adds an extra layer of safety, it also makes this aircraft quieter than its predecessors. Going away for 4 weeks to the factory to receive my training to fly this new aircraft during a pandemic was both challenging and exciting. But it's been actually flying this aircraft on actual missions, helping the people of Alberta in their time of need, that's been truly rewarding. What excites me the most is bringing this aircraft to our community, working with our allies for the next 15 years and beyond. Of course, none of this would be possible without our allies, our donors, and our supporters, and everyone involved in today's event. And yes, that does mean you. So thank you for making this possible. All right, if we've got our timings right, I'm just about to land outside. I'm going to pass you back to Carol Ann, and I'll see you all very shortly.
I think I saw a Keurig machine in there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we don't have snacks or beverages in the back, but. So Geo should be landing on a patch of grass back there pretty quick here. It definitely will be a little noisy as well. Yeah. Have we heard if he's taken off yet? He's up? Okay, excellent. Oh, here he comes. That was a little scary. Luke, I am your father. Sounds like Star Wars. Now that's a way to make an entrance, eh? What a gorgeous machine flown by one of our amazing pilots. So you're going to get to meet Geo and see that helicopter up close, maybe take some photos. In just a few moments, Captain Geo's just shutting down the aircraft. The crew will prepare the helicopter for viewing. For everyone in the hangar, at the conclusion of our program, please help yourself to some food, some refreshments. It looks like there's lots left back there. And don't forget to take a commemorative H145 souvenir poster with you when you leave. For those joining us online, thank you for being a part of our special day. I'll now turn it back over to Andrea to wrap up our program. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Caroline. You know, should we just all, a little round of applause again for Noah? Wasn't he amazing? So it's a pretty cool aircraft, I will say that. And it'll be fun for you to put your hands on it and check it out live. But please think about being here today and the impact that this machine and this team is going to have on thousands of lives for generations to come. A round of applause for all of you. Did anyone notice the call sign on the front of the aircraft? There's letters right towards the front. So this says, on this aircraft, it says CFNPT. So, it's kind of like a license plate on a car. It's our license plate that we're required to have on every aircraft, unique to every aircraft. Every aircraft in our fleet has special meaning. And the one we have today, any guesses? What FNPT stands for? For the next patient. Right? Doesn't that sound like us? Mm-hmm. Yep. And so I think it's very appropriate that that's the one that's here today. So, because at the end of the day, right? It's the only reason we're here. So I started with a message of gratitude, and I want to end with one. Today's program is far more than a celebration of an arrival of an aircraft. It's our way of showing our tremendous appreciation for your dedication, commitment, and support to STARS for these many years. So thank you, and thank you for sharing this day with us and being part of it with us. It's a pretty profound day for us. So not about replacing helicopters, actually. It's about an investment so that we're here for generations, as Noah pointed out, for generations to come. So our commitment is for the next patient in need. Way back for how Dr. Powell started this organization is still the reason we exist. So when you think about it, folks, when you see that beautiful helicopter in the sky, please think, whether your colleagues, friends, or family are working or playing throughout this peace country, or indeed across Western Canada, that you helped keep us here. So, come on, let's go play with that helicopter. Thank you for coming. Have an awesome day.
Well, that concludes our ceremony today from the Grande Prairie base. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great day, a beautiful day. It's so great to have our allies out here with us, and so wonderful to have you at home joining for us. We hope you enjoyed this live stream, and if you feel like watching it again sometime, it will be posted to our YouTube channel soon. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're now going to just enjoy exploring this helicopter up close with our allies here, and we'll probably leave the live stream going for a little while if you want to watch in on that. And thank you once again for joining us. Again, my name is Mark Oden from the Grande Prairie base, and it's a wonderful, wonderful day here for STARS celebrating the new H145. And we're going to leave you with a bit of music, once again played by the bands of Peace Wapiti Academy and Grande Prairie Composite High School. Thanks again, and have a great day.
you.